Hey guys, Ben Graham here, your local realtor. Wanted to bring a topic that I'm getting a lot of questions on right now is how will the 24 election affect the real estate market? That is the 2024 presidential election. So let's get into that. Put together a few slides here. I'll just read this here. Is presidential election years affect the national housing market and mortgage rates through three interrelated channels: uncertainty, policy expectations, and consumer confidence. I think we all knew that, but again, that is a direct quote here from a capital management company. So this is, again, the bigger question that I get is, great, Ben, we want to sell our home, we want to buy a home, but we're nervous about what's going on. Tell us historically what happens. Here's what we can share with you and show you is non-presidential election years in this time period between October and November, there's typically a 9.8% dip in sales. It's a seasonality thing. It's normal, cyclical, nothing to be out of ordinary or unexpected. So during presidential election years, we see a little bit more dip than that, a 15% dip. So it's really only a 5.2% difference between non-election years and election years on the, transactional sales volume. So not a big change in the big picture. Let's go to the next slide here. Another quote here. In December following the election year and in the following years, the sales that are lost during November are recovered. It isn't that consumers say I'm nervous and never want to buy. They say I'm nervous, let's just wait to see how things play out. So kind of think of that like, if here in Arizona, we don't really praise God, have a natural disaster problem. Let's say we're in Florida and there's hurricanes going on, and you're hungry, right? Well, McDonald's is going to lose the business when you can't get out of your house, and you're not going to buy the burger from McDonald's at that time. So that's different. Think of real estate more like, an Apple store. Say you want to buy a new iPad. You're not going to not buy it. You're just going to wait to buy it. Same thing for real estate. You're just going to wait. The demand will shift. So here's an interesting slide that I put together. Home sales went up 9 of the last 11 presidential elections. That's a big stat. Home sales went up 9 of the last presidential elections. And look at the 2 that didn't. Again, there was some major economic stuff going on at that time. So let's look. At this next slide, an election year doesn't alter the price trend that is already happening in the market. So again, it just hits the timeout button on the number of transactions happening. The pricing still continues to, for the majority, keep appreciating and keep moving on. So here's another interesting slide, is in existing home prices went up in 7 of the last 8 presidential elections. The only time they didn't is after the 2008 crash. So again, pricing, home values go up in 7 of the 8 last presidential elections following those. Mortgage rates decreased leading up to 8 of the last 11 presidential elections. Again, so we're on track. We are seeing mortgage rates go down, and they're projected to keep going down between now and the actual presidential election. So pricing goes up afterwards, volume goes up afterwards, interest rates go down. So keep tracking along. So for most Americans, election results will have very little direct impact on their income and therefore should not significantly impact their decision to buy or sell a home, says Bankrate. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you have any specific questions or want to dive deeper into this, I am here for you. Take care.